one of their projects that they're managing, make it all the way through and built, and just to see like that reaction that or what it brings to them or what it can fulfill in their life.
Well, that's great. You guys are really leaving a legacy. I know my mentors did that for me too, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Now, since we have you guys here, I also want to ask you, tell me about your design philosophy, because we're not just talking about the business of architecture here. You guys have a very distinctive design philosophy.
Yeah.
Who would like to speak on that? Derek, you have the mic, man. Go ahead.
I've been losing my voice the last few days, so
oh, yeah.
I'm trying to save it. Actually, it's better today than yesterday.
Mm.
That's a really tough question.
What drives your design? I think Michael touched on it a little bit.
I think for us, what people always tend to ask is, are you getting bored of this small lot subdivision because you're very focused on this one project type? And to me, the answer is clearly no, because I think for us, the design philosophy comes from what do we and what do our friends and what does maybe even our generation want in LA? And that is a cool, relatively attainable place to live that doesn't cost you a lot, where you can bike to work or walk to a restaurant, walk to a bar, and not have to sit on the freeway or live out in the boonies and commute in. So I think it's driven more to like a really personal level. And that's sort of how we got into this product type, was what can we do from an architecture and now a construction side to better the city. And so it's less about style, it's less about those things, it's more about that kind of goal. And then for us, I think what makes it interesting is, even though they're mostly in the city of LA, every neighborhood, which I didn't even know growing up, I lived on the west side, but every neighborhood is so unique in Los Angeles. And the other day, Christian and I drove out to a new job site, and we've been on this major street with restaurants. I'm like, I've never been here in my life, and I lived in LA my entire life. And so I think the neighborhoods drive a lot for us, like seeing the neighborhood and how can we sort of conform our modern aesthetic to that neighborhood. And then also every client brings like a new interesting challenge. What are their goals? What do they think is interesting? So I think those sort of two things, the site context and then the client and their personalities, and bringing those things together along with